Good Monday evening to you, everyone. How are you? It is good to see you, and it is good to be seen by you. I, of course, am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere deep in the swamps of Central Florida. Greetings, Chris Kane, Mead Mornog, and great old ones. Robert Turner, good to see you too. And to everyone watching, whether you are over here on YouTube or over here on Twitter, welcome. I am certainly glad that everyone is here, and I hope you're having an extraordinary evening. Steve Cavadas, good to see you. Glad you stopped by. Morna. Gotcha. Anyway, so regardless of how you say it, I say good evening to you, and I hope everybody's having a good one. We are on October Eve, and we have got a heck of a busy October coming. Orbital Air, good to see you. Really extraordinarily busy October. We have got more guests than we have Thursdays, so I'm going to be slotting guests in anywhere I can. We've got guests coming on Saturdays. We've got guests coming on off days. So it's going to be busy, but it's going to be good. And guess what? Friday night. I'll tell you about the rest of the week in a minute. Friday night, we're starting the October Call of Cthulhu mini campaign. Friday, Shocktober horror campaign, Call of Cthulhu. Don't miss a single episode. We are going from 9 p.m. Eastern to midnight every Friday to bring you the best in sublime horror gaming. And I hope you'll tune in because we're going to have a lot of fun with that one. Miss Bella Games, greeting, good to see you. But anyway, some serious business to attend to. I know that some of my viewership, of course, is located in the central southern United States. That is an area through Georgia, through Tennessee, through the Carolinas that has been absolutely devastated by Hurricane Helene. It is it is not a once in a century disaster up there. This is once in a geologic epoch level disaster. There are sides of mountains that just literally ceased to exist, and in going took entire sections of town with them. The University of North Carolina at Asheville itself has been extremely hard hit. But they were evacuating students from the campus by air because there are no highways anymore. It's bad. It is really bad up there. So I'm going to ask you to do a favor. In lieu of any super chats, if anyone was thinking of clicking that button tonight, give that money to the Red Cross. Give that money to any kind of aid organization that you want to try and help people out, and donate blood if you can. Okay? If you're healthy, if it's something you can do, donate blood. I have heard that they have critical shortages. So yes, it is pretty grim up there, and it goes beyond any consideration of tabletop games. I mean, what are we? We're nerds, okay? We're nerds that play Elf on graph paper. That is a serious situation up there, and it's not even It's getting worse every day. Okay. And they're talking about more rain in the next couple of days. It's not even associated with the remnants of the hurricane. So please, whatever you can do, whatever you can spare. Yeah. Water levels are still rising, Mead. Chimney Rock is gone. Yeah, Chimney Rock is completely gone. So yeah, I mean, it was bad when it made landfall in Florida. Was it Cedar Key on the west coast of Florida was just brushed by it and wrecked. And then where it made landfall was devastated. But it got up into the Appalachians. And I've never seen a storm do this before. There was the storm that hit up in New Jersey. If I say a few years ago, it was probably a decade ago. Well, they call it Superstorm Sandy. Yeah, Jimmy, East Tennessee is gone. Well, it's not gone, but it's devastated. That's great, Mead. That's great to hear. We can spare them. We can spare them. We got lucky this time. Well, I hope you're safe and dry, Jimmy, and I hope you've got power, brother. But yeah, just it's just grim. It's just grim. So and I wish that was the end of unpleasant news this evening. Now, one thing I want to preface this by saying I did not know this gentleman. I know that sometimes he tended to draw a little controversy to himself. He would sometimes comment on my videos. Sometimes I would see him in a live chat. A fairly sharp critic with a low tolerance for BS insofar as I interacted with him. And I don't know the gentleman's name. I just know him by his internet handle. There is a YouTube channel, Shonner, Shonner, Shonner. But apparently the fellow behind that account has passed away. He was, as I said, a critic of tabletop RPG websites, video channels, so on and etc. So I did not know him personally. All right, I'm not making a personal statement that I lost someone close to me, but someone did. This was someone's son, uncle, brother, father. And our tiny little community here on the internet of people that get together and talk about tabletop RPGs and try to talk about it in a positive way and try to focus a critical eye on things. The loss of one of us, even if we didn't necessarily associate, is a lessening of what we do and what we love. So, like I said, I would see him pop up in the chat from time to time. Always seemed to be, fairly direct and fairly positive, at least with me. Maybe my stuff passed muster for him. Maybe it didn't, but it's one of those things I'll never know. So that is just a little piece of news that I bring to you guys to share with you guys. And I wish I had something positive to say on the topic. So with all that unpleasantness aside, Thank you, Jimmy. We're very fortunate, and it's still devastated a nice sized chunk of the Panhandle. But I do want to I do want to say something positive. Let's talk positivity. We like to talk about positive things here on the show. It is Monday. And if you don't know what we do on Mondays, sometimes we have a mail call on Monday. Sometimes our viewers out there send things into the show that I like to show off. And we got something really cool. So I've got something, I think it's pretty cool. Maybe you guys are like, it's not that cool. But anyway, and I'm going to call this person out. Can I call you out? If it's okay, message me on Twitter. Send me a DM right now and say, yes, you can call me out, or no, you can't, because I'm presenting the thing that you sent to me in the mail. So I'll wait just a second for the person responsible. And, well, you know what? I'm going to show it. Okay. All right. So Rabbit Wrangler sent this in to me. You guys know last week I was talking about the all the good news in the Milwaukee Sentinel Journal about Dungeons and Dragons, about Lake Geneva. And I was like, well, maybe I can reach out to the newspaper, tell them who I am. Do you people know who I am? No, I was going to lean on them about that. But ask them if they would be so kind. Could they send me a physical copy? Well, hey, Rabbit Wrangler sent me a copy of the front of the newspaper there. And so let me see here. Let me see. Okay. All right. We have double confirmation, double secret confirmation. Okay. So I have something very cool, because it wasn't on the front of the website, which I get why Dead Tree Media does that. It's like, well, here's today's newspaper, just up as a web page. That ends any chance of doing print media. So I got this today. And I have to say something, Rabbit Wrangler. This is, for what this is exceptionally well packaged. Thank you very much. I thought, okay, it's going to come in an envelope or something, but no. But what I have here is, this is the Milwaukee Sentinel Journal. How did I wind up in the back of this thing? That's madness. But I will show this to you guys. Let's see if this is going to look good on the camera. Let's go to tripod cam. So the Journal Sentinel, Dungeons, Dragons, and Lake Geneva, and rather colorful detail from the Gygax museum there. So that is the front page. Harvest Fair, Wisconsin State Fair Park, September 27th to 29th. Damn it! I missed it. Anyway, so yes, this is the cover of the section. It is asking for a frame, and I've just got to figure out a good one to put it in. So let's see. But there's other sections about that. I'm going to be careful, and I'm just going to lean over. I'm going to put that right there. And then we have the pages. Rabbit was kind enough to carefully kind of section these out for me. It all started here. Dungeons and Dragons is more influential than ever. And there's some photos and whatnot. Now, this is spooky. I want to show you guys something. Okay, if you know who this person is, tell him we may actually be doppelgangers. I'm not going to do a deep dive on this because we already have. I just want to show this. Oh, it's $5 on Amazon. Oh, okay. Or it's $5. Oh, it is $5 to get it. Look at this. Look at that guy. If it'll come in focus. Now look at this guy. Now look at this guy. Now look at this guy. Wait. Let my hair down. Ah. Well, I think that's a fairly cynical point of view, Mead. There. But I can understand your point of view. So anyway. Oh, slipped out of my hand. That guy. Me. That guy. Me. It's uncanny. So yeah, this just kind of goes on for a bit. I'm gonna put that back down there. 10 D&D sites you can visit in Lake Geneva, where the game was born, and I think we kind of went over that on the website. I am pretty much like, you start the game and it's like, what class do I want to play? I know. Middle-aged RPG fanatic. Let's see. Oh, is that the default model? Paunchy, unshaven, long stringy hair, big nose. Whatever. I'll just customize it with armor as I play. But anyway, thank you, Rabbit Wrangler, for wrangling up this newspaper. And I am, I may have to get this bad boy framed. So I really appreciate that. And we absolutely adore having a Pete at the Games Pit starter pack. Yeah. Voight contest. Yeah, that's just the table cam I use for D&D night. Whoops. The tripod cam. I actually do not like this for because one, it's just the little Logitech cam, not the 4K rig. So as you can see, I am blown out. Yes, I am pale and ruddy where I'm not pale, but still that's very blown out compared to this. And this is notably better. So this is what you're going to get. But hello, graph paper. Joe Kaufman, you thought I was the one and only. I am not, apparently. I have said I'm the one and only. TB Flower says it's like I'm seeing the same person. Jorge Uribe, good to see you. Anyway, Mead was saying part of him thinks it's pretty cool. Another part thinks, wow, they're just cashing in after completely ignoring the entire hobby for decades. I mean, yeah, I can, like I said, I think that's kind of cynical, but I don't necessarily disagree with you. By the way, guys, if you're new here, like if you're just stopping by, if the internet has just sent you running past me, and you've decided to dive in here for cover because you're being chased by a wild algorithm or some horrible search engine has gotten on the loose and cornered you in here, please consider clicking the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. It's super helpful. There hasn't been much to report on lately. And I'm not going to drama farm anymore. I think if there's something truly impactful about old school, I'm going to tell you guys. I'm just, unless we get another situation like Wizards of the Coast accidentally Dungeons and Dragons again, I'm not really gonna, I'm not gonna go out there. I'm not gonna be like the next discourse minis. Uh, you know, Wizards of the Coast has apparently decided. I'm sorry, I should. That's awful. I like her content when she's talking about actual hobby stuff. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But what that means, because I'm not out there drama farming, is we're back to a much mellower roll in of subscriptions. So please consider clicking the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications if you haven't already. And I will try to bring you guys all the news that fits. Hello, Wheeling Dragon. Good to see you, dear. Good to see you. Daryl Urret, I ignored TTRPGs for 30 years until the OGL crisis. And you came into my channel, and that, dude, that just fills me with joy. Thank you so much. See, I like the positive. I know we kind of started on a down note tonight, but I like the positivity. I like that Wheeling Dragon hangs out here and talks about things and is doing cool sculpting things. Yeah, I mean, she's got that one pose in her thumbnail. Again, I don't dislike her. And in fact, if you go through and dig through the non-drama stuff, her content's really good. And she seems like a pretty nice person. How am I doing? It's fine. Let me tell you. Okay, so one more thing about the weather. I'm bumping all over the place. I can always talk about Moodang. Yeah, Moodang is awesome. But I'm going to mention the weather. Typically, when we get a hurricane blow through Central Florida, the day before and the day of, it is stinking, stifling hot. All that air is compressing, and it's hot and it's yucky, and it doesn't matter when it happens. It feels like freaking August outside. And then when it's gone, the vacuum trail behind it it's fall like for Florida, which means days in the low 80s. Okay. And believe me, when you spend all summer meaning the beginning of April to whenever, in 90-degree humidity and 90-degree temperatures, the lower 80s feels crisp. Okay. Not this time. After the storm blew through, I walked Zeus before I did the live stream tonight. It felt like early August. Like heat was radiating off of everything. The ground, the cars I would walk by, the tree I stood next to when Zeus was doing his business. Awful. Just awful. And I like it here in Florida. Don't mistake me. Moodang is an anti-paladin. Yes, she is. Although I do want to address something about Moodang. Because a lot of people have said, oh, it's a hippo. It's going to grow up to be a killer. Like unironically, like, yeah, you think it's funny now. That thing will be killing people if it ever got out into the wild. Moodang is a pygmy hippo. If you look at the videos of Moodang, look at her mom. Her mom is smaller than Zeus, but fatter. The only thing she's gonna break is people's hearts. It feels good in Clearwater. Thank goodness, Michael. Thank goodness. Yeah, pygmy. Pygmy hippos. Pygmy hippos are fairly docile. I just think Mudang is a spoiled brat. So yeah, she's not gonna grow up to be like a dangerous man eater. So, when she like runs up and gums her keeper on the license, Meb, Meb. That's not that's not like, you know. Joe Kaufman asked if I've been in Florida my whole life. Since I was 10. We moved here in 1980. Started playing D&D in 1981. But lived in Georgia from birth to 5, Alabama from 5 to 10. I have no idea, Michael Connor. I can believe that, Damien. I can believe how hot that was. Is she hungry? She's angry is what she is. She wants nothing to do with whatever it is you want her to do. Thank you very much. But anyway, that's enough about the weather. That's enough about Mudang. That's enough about all that jazzmatazz. Let's talk the week ahead. Tomorrow, we are continuing on playing first edition AD&D. Now, let me tell you guys, 84 to 86 in Mayport. Excellent. Let me tell you guys, if you don't know what we do when we play first edition AD&D around these parts, it is not just sit and stare. Like, well, I get that they're just playing D&D. There they are on the internet. They're playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I know that your average D&D live stream is like that. But here's the thing. When you play first edition AD&D, or I'm sorry, when you watch us play first edition AD&D, I want you to ask questions. Ask in the chat. If you have any questions, fire away. And I will do my level best to answer your question. I might miss it. You might have to ask a couple of times. I could miss your question. You may have to come in and say, again, Bill, why are you using D6 for initiative? And I will, I may miss it. And if I don't answer it, somebody in the live chat may answer it. Somebody in the live chat may just be like, oh, they're doing it because this. Or maybe one of my players. But I do want you to feel involved, okay? This isn't a passive thing. This isn't a TV show. I don't have table reads. We don't have script writing sessions. There are no story arcs. There are no plot arcs. Characters could die just like that. We could have a TPK 5 minutes into tomorrow night. And then we're all making up new characters. Because it can happen that way. So there is absolutely, positively no reason, if you love AD&D first edition, or if you want to learn AD&D first edition, if you've never played and you want to pick up some pointers, then please tune in and watch, because that's what we're doing. Wednesday, we're going to have to poke around and have a little bit of fun on Wednesday. Maybe we'll find something to deep dive. Thursday, I believe we have a guest slotted for Thursday. I'm going to have to look at my Google Calendar. I will let you guys know tomorrow night. And Friday, we are playing Call of Cthulhu from 9 p.m. until midnight. It's the first week of Shocktober, kicks off tomorrow. We do that every Friday in October, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it, and I hope it scares the hell out of you. So please do tune in, and we'll have us a good old fashioned fright show on Fridays. Wheeling Dragon asks a question: when I'm running a game for a new group, do you have them make more than one character in case of TPK or character death, or have them wait until the character is dead? I don't really do the funnel thing, Wheeling. I will say just do it one at a time. It's a bit more organic and a little less insert coin to continue. Maybe you play through and you get a little inspired. Maybe you play through, and as you're playing the campaign, you're like, if this campaign's gonna keep being this way, maybe my halfling thief, my streetwise cynical halfling thief, doesn't really fit. Maybe I want to come back with something else. So you do you, but do it just once. Of course, you may feel differently about your campaign. You may say, no, I have them make up 5 characters apiece. If Sir Robin the Brave dies, then Sir Bedivere steps up out of the group of fighters and draws his sword and says, you will be avenged. And, if he dies, then it's Lancelot. And if he dies, it's Arthur. That's literally up to you as a DM. I'm not here to tell you how to play D&D in the sense of what you prefer for your campaigns. If you have a question about the mechanics, I will certainly tell you, and I will tell you my preferences, but what works for me may not work for you. TB Flowers, you will be avenged, writes that down. Which brings me to an interesting point. I had a lot of fun discussing this on Twitter today. I just, I like to just fire off some good ideas into the ether on Twitter about various, cool things that spring to mind over on Twitter. And I was thinking about this. One of the most underrated things you can do in AD&D First Edition is to always roll on wilderness encounter tables. But how many of you guys know that stuck deep down inside the wilderness encounters is the chance to encounter an entire castle? There is a 1 in 20 chance that what you run into out in the wilderness isn't a thing, it isn't a person or a thing, it's a location. There is a whole subsection, and we've talked about it a little bit before on the show, but there is a whole subsection in the Dungeon Master's Guide that covers what to do if you roll a 1 for an encounter, which if you're in the wilderness, if you're in like the forest, you're checking 6 times a day, every 4 hours as you journey through the forest, you're checking for a random encounter. And upon that random encounter, which is a 1 in 10, if you're in uncivilized areas, there is a chance that it could be a castle. So every time you roll the dice, there is now y'all check my mouth. Y'all check my math on this. I should check my mouth. Check my math on this. It's a 1 in 10 chance for an encounter, and then a 1 in 20 chance. A martial structure inhabited by pygmy hippos. Yeah, it's the castle of Mu Ding. Meb. You take, rolls dice, 0 damage. But you roll a 1 in 10, you roll a 10-sider, you get a 1. You roll a 20-sider, you get a 1 again. And then we start looking at what is potentially an entire inhabited castle. Just out there in the woods. Wizard's Tower. Inhabited or including ruins. It could be either. Daryl wants to know. Let's take a look at it. Let's just pull this up real quick here. So we're going to go. What page is this going to be on? I think this is page 174. All right. Nope, I think it's actually up a little bit from this. And the beauty of this here we go. We are on page 182. Okay, I was way off. Okay, so here we go. So this question from Daryl about inhabited or including ruins. So first of all, you know what? I'm going to do this. Let's go over to DD Dice and we'll dice this up. Is it showing up on screen? Yes, it's showing up on screen. You guys can't see it, but I promise I can. So, well, I mean, we can do this. We can do this while we roll the dice. All right. So first thing. So let's say we've rolled a 20. So we have Castle Table 1, size and type. Castle Table 1, size and type, and we roll percentile dice. 82. So what does an 82 get us? That looks like a large 81 to 88, large concentric castle. Now we have a second table, inhabitants. So we roll percentile dice again. We get a 51. And now our table tells us that is humans. And now we have a human subtable. And we roll dice again. Are they bandits, brigands, berserkers, or dervishes? Let's find out. Twenty-one. Aween. They are bandits. Okay, these are bandits. See, now we have to go over, because this is not in, I mean, they are NPCs, but let's see. Let's do this. Do we have the monster manual? Let's view all recent files here. All right, so now we go to men, bandits. Now, brigands are chaotic evil. Bandits are neutral. All right, so here we've got bandits. Now, let's see how many we've got. We've got 20 to 200. So that's going to be 2d10 times 10. 12. So we've got 120. We've got about an even amount. So now let's look this up. For every 20 bandits, there's an additional third level fighter. So there's 6 third level fighters. For every 30, there's an additional 4th level fighter. So there are 4 4th level fighters. For every 40, there's an additional 5th level fighter. So there's 3 5th level fighters. And for every 50, there'll be an additional 6th level fighters. So there's 2 6th level fighters. They're led by an 8th, 9th, or 10th level fighter with 6 guards of 2nd level fighting ability and a lieutenant of 7th level. These 8 bandits are in addition to the number by the dice. So 8th, 9th, or 10th will roll a d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got a 3, so that's a 9th level fighter leading them. Here is a breakdown of how they are equipped. Bandit lairs will be informal camps. Well, we've already determined this is a large concentric castle. For every 50 bandits, there's a 15% chance there will be a cleric of 5th or 6th level with an assistant of 3rd or 4th level, dice only for the former. In addition, okay. Let's see. For every 50 bandits, there's a 25% chance that there will be a magic user of 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th level. Roll a 4-sided die for level if one is with the group. So for every 50, there's a 25% chance. So in this case, there's a 50% chance. So let's roll to see if they have a magic user with them. 50% chance. 27. Now let's roll a d4 for their level. And that is a mere 7th level magic user. So you can see. All right. So 7th level magic user. But do they have a cleric? For every 50, there's a 15% chance. So 30% chance of a cleric. No, there is not a cleric. Bandits will have from 2 to 20 important prisoners in their lair, as well as 5 to 30 camp followers or slaves. So they have, locked up in the dungeons of the castle, they have 3 important prisoners. And they have camp followers. These are women, children, boys, old men. 22 camp followers or slaves. I would think with bandits, you would probably lean more towards camp followers. Brigands, you'd go with slaves. So there you go. There you go. So we just diced up 120 bandits led by very practically a company by itself of higher level fighters. capped off with a magic user with a number of followers and three important slaves or important prisoners. And if we scroll up a little bit, they have treasure type A. Well, we know they're in layers, so we don't have to check that. So if we scroll all the way down and look at treasure type A, I'm going to do a quick screen grab of this. Let's see, where's my snipping tool? And we're going to roll this out. I grabbed a couple of them there, but that's okay. We're going to roll this out. Hey, Doc Flamingo, how you doing, brother? Last I heard, you had said that storm just took a turn. We got to go. How are you, man? I hope you're doing all right. Is there a harlot amongst the almost certainly. Almost certainly. Almost certainly. All right, so here we go. We have treasure type A. And that's not even counting treasure type M, because each bandit has some of their own. So we have a 25% chance of copper. Yes. Okay. So we got an 01. And how much copper is it? 1 to 6,000. 2,000 copper pieces. Well, I'm glad you're okay, Doc Flamingo. God bless you. All right, what do we got next? Silver. 30% chance of silver. $84, no silver. Electrum, 35% chance of electrum. No electrum. Ouch. But there's a 40% chance of gold. No gold. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Hundreds of platinum. Not thousands, hundreds. Oh, this is brutal. This is brutal. These bandits only have a couple of thousand copper. They could be near mutiny at this point. What about gems? 4 to 40 gems, 60% chance. 72, no gems. How about jewelry? 3 to 30 pieces of jewelry, 50% chance. Okay. All right. So we have our bandits have 20 pieces of jewelry. And finally, maps or magic, any 3. 30% chance. Yes. So we have 20 pieces of jewelry, 3 chances at magic items, but only a couple of thousand copper coin. Now, every bandit of the 120 has treasure type M, and that's 2 to 8 pieces per individual. So you could probably just do, if you just wanted to average it out, roll 2d4 and then multiply by 120. So every man has 4 gold pieces on him. There's 20 pieces of jewelry being hidden, likely by the captain. but they have 3 magic items. Do you guys want to see what magic items they've got? Do you guys want to check to see if they have, or what magic items they have? So there's an important lesson here. I hope you guys are taking away. Oh, yeah. All right. Everybody seems down to find out what they might potentially have. All right. So let's roll this up here. Any 3 magic items. Let's take a quick look at the book. What items are you taking off their corpses? All right, here we go. We got potions, scrolls, rings, rods, stabs, wands, 5 categories of miscellaneous, armor and shields, swords, and miscellaneous weapons. So here we go. And we have 3 of these, by the way. $69. Nice. Armor and shield. $30. Scrolls, or a scroll. And last but not least, 68. Also armor and shield. So what I'm getting here is the bandit leader and his most trusted fellow have the armor and shield. The mage has a scroll. All right, so let's check that scroll. What scroll does that mage have? Here we go. Or it could be a protection scroll that only the captain has. Here we go. 93. Protection from undead. Magic user probably knows it. He might be holding on to it. Hey, RPG Grandma. All right, so let's check the armor and shield table. So you can see we got a whole chart here of potential armor and shield. And here we go. 91. Shield +3. And 70. Studded leather +1. Given the bandit's propensity for leather armor, for lighter armor, these might both be kept by the captain. So the point of all of this, guys, the reason we did that, we just fell down this rabbit hole, generated 120 bandits led by 2, 3, 4, 6, 2 plus 3, 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 6, led by 15 and a magic user, is because guess what? I've just created a mini campaign just by checking on that random table. Just by rolling up in the wilderness. I mean, you know, we can do it out here. Just roll the dice right here again. 6 checks because again, we're in the woods. All right, pre-dawn, no encounter. No encounter in mid-morning. No encounter at noon. Oh, almost got it. No encounter in the evening. No encounter at midnight. And the last check. No encounter again at dawn. So, well, take care, great old ones. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. But as you can see, there's always a chance of encountering or not encountering something. But again, that was literally by dint of checking. And you know what? You could find an entire town. You could find an entire settlement abandoned out there in the wilderness. Let's see. So each space, if you go to the inhabitation tables and you're randomly genning up, check each space for the possibility of inhabitation. Use random numbers 01 to double nuts. Now, this is random wilderness terrain. Like if you've got your World of Greyhawk map or you've got everything laid out, maybe don't necessarily use this unless you want to use this to populate. But see, we could have so 36. It's uninhabited. See, we only have a 1 to 17% chance of falling on any of these particular ones. So we'll check the next space, nothing. And what counts as what space? One space is entirely up to you as the game master. You could do at the same time you check for wandering monsters. 30, still nothing. But let's say we did get we'll do a D20. We'll do a D20 and just ignore 18, 19. So a 4, that would be a Thorpe population 20 to 80. There's a 5, that's 50. And then you go to town divining up a city. Only an encounter on a 1, Michael Dale. It's only an encounter on a 1. When you're doing random terrain generation, it's an encounter on a 1 to a 17 to find some sort of inhabitation. Check each space. And I think space probably refers to hex. Like you're not going to have a hex that's 30 miles across where you could have, city of 60,000, then another city of 60,000, then another city of 60,000, then another. So I would make your space your entire large overland hex size. In the world of Greyhawk, it's a 30-mile hex. But yeah, I mean, that is the beauty of doing these checks as you wander overland, because you're like, well, there's nothing to do from point A to point B. Look at your World of Greyhawk map. You think all that space between Greyhawk and Verbabonk is empty? No, of course not. Check when your party goes through. Populate your world. Make it live. Make it breathe. Greyhawk is not like these individual tiny spots. with just a howling wilderness between. There are places like that, don't get me wrong. You know, there's an abandoned ruined city in the middle of the Sea of Dust. You're not going to hit city and town after city and town out there. But you certainly, I mean, considering that the Sea of Dust is the ancient Seoul Empire and they got Karnuked, it's absolutely possible that there's other ruins out there. So crack this book open and definitely give your Dungeon Master's Guide a chance to breathe some life into your campaign, even if you're not playing AD&D. Do I use a monster tables for dungeons? I have. Most of the time when I'm running modules, I'll roll with what they dictate because most modules have that stuff in there. But I can tell you the monster table. Sorry, I'm blanked. The monster tables in the Dungeon Master's Guide. They can be pretty good. They can be pretty interesting. I rolled up some boring beetles once that nearly TPK'd the party, but I also rolled that they were in their lair, and the party was able to cut them down eventually, and the loot that they got out of those things. Jorge, are you complaining about my Department of Redundancy department? Ironically not. Yeah, they are anything but boring. Boring beetles. Now I want to look because this was great. The party got like such stupid amounts of treasure from the boring beetles. Beetle giant. Yeah, dig this. Boring beetles have treasure types, and I'm not kidding. C, R, S, and T. Boring beetles have like the same loot haul that red dragons have. Actually, I think red dragons are H, S, and T. You know, now I want to know. I want to know. Yeah, it's H, S, and T. Yeah, but CSRT. Or CRST. Yeah, I mean, they've got like potions, scrolls, huge amounts of gold. It's insane. I think the implication is that they've just like tunneled into the soil and stuff, and they just kind of pushed it all up into their nest. They're animal intelligence. What would I rather face off against, owl bears or mimics? Owl bears. Well, it depends. Are we talking about killer mimics or the smaller intelligent type that you can converse with and give food to? In their mandibles, Joe. That's very possible, Joe. They eat it and out it goes. Then owl bears. Wheeling dragon owl bears. They're neutral, they're always ill-tempered, and they're always hungry, but I can throw food at them, and hopefully somebody can communicate with them, and we can at the very least talk our way around them. Mimics are only killer mimics are only semi-intelligent, and they just want to eat. Smaller non-killer mimics are very intelligent, and they just want to chat. But anyway, so that's about all I've got tonight, guys. Thank you all for hanging out this evening. We will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we're going to play some first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the heck out of that. And then Wednesday and Thursday night, we'll just have to see. Friday night, Call of Cthulhu, Shocktober, and I hope you guys will be there for that. But until then, if the discussion, ever turns this way again, RPG Grandma, just absolutely understand that I am always firmly in Camp Owlbear. Peace. Love you all. Good night.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.